Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, so we're setting the stage today for a really fascinating IT mystery. You know that very specific, special kind of panic that hits right after a totally clean software installation? You've got your machine spun up, it's completely fresh, the dashboard is perfectly quiet, you haven't customized a single thing beyond a couple of basic practical tweaks, and then, without any warning whatsoever, the server logs just start screaming. Today, we're diving into a scenario where a quiet, pristine server suddenly starts making some seriously alarming decisions right behind the administrator's back, turning what should be an ordinary day of admin work into an absolute trust crisis. So why on earth is a brand new server secretly contacting Cloudflare? Well, this is exactly what one user faced after spinning up a totally fresh Proxmox virtualization host. They glanced at their logs and noticed that Postfix, which is the system's underlying mail transfer agent, was repeatedly trying to connect to Cloudflare mail servers over port 25, and it just kept timing out over and over again. Now, I really want to validate the immediate paranoia you might feel seeing something like this. A fresh system is supposed to be boring, right? It should literally just sit there like a sealed household appliance until you explicitly tell it to do something. So when your brand new host starts independently reaching out to external IP addresses, it feels deeply, fundamentally wrong.
The emotional center of this entire episode really boils down to just one crucial question. What is this thing trying to talk to, and why? Think about it. When a new server immediately starts phoning infrastructure tied to a massive internet company like Cloudflare, people don't naturally assume it's just standard mail transport behavior. No way. They think about telemetry, they think about hidden data leaks, or some kind of scary supply chain compromise. In an era where our software phones home way too often and explains itself way too rarely, questioning unexplained outbound traffic isn't just understandable, it's the completely correct reaction. Section 1. Following the DNS clues, moving from panic to technical reality. Okay, let's dive into this and shift from that initial emotional panic to what's actually happening technically.
Before we get too far into the weeds, let's make sure we're all on the exact same page with a quick definition. An MX record, or mail exchanger record, is basically just a DNS entry. Think of it as the internet's phone book for email. It simply tells the internet exactly which servers are responsible for handling email delivery for a specific domain. So, as it turns out, our newly installed server wasn't maliciously trying to connect to Cloudflare's platform, and it definitely wasn't sending them telemetry data. It was literally just looking up an MX record, following that standard internet phone book to figure out where to deliver a piece of email.
And here is where we find the really interesting, simple human story behind that terrifying log file. The first useful theory that finally cut through all the fog was asking one simple question. What email address did the user actually type in during the system installation? Well, it turns out Proxmox was trying to send a standard, totally harmless system notification to the administrator. If the admin's personal email domain happens to publish MX records pointing to Cloudflare, then Postfix is just going to follow those instructions. The log only shows the destination host, that Cloudflare IP address. It completely misses the human context that the server was simply trying to say hello to its new owner.
This whole situation brilliantly illustrates a massive, fundamental shift in how we view internet traffic today. Look, in the old mental model, way before the spam wars completely changed everything, basically any device could try to send mail directly out on port 25. Postfix doing a DNS lookup and attempting delivery all by itself was completely normal, standard Unix tradition. But in our current world, residential ISPs actively block port 25, and direct SMTP traffic looks incredibly suspicious. So what is technically a perfectly normal, historic system behavior now looks exactly like a compromised machine wandering dangerously into modern internet traffic. Section 2, the ghost in the queue, or why changing the config didn't work. All right, so here's where we hit our major plot twist in the story. The administrator figures out the root of the problem and goes in to change the admin email address in the system to a standard Gmail account. Problem solved, right? Actually, scratch that. Wrong. The alarming Cloudflare logs just keep rolling in. To understand why changing the email didn't fix the noise, we have to look at the life cycle of a failed email. First, the mail is generated using that original Cloudflare-backed email address. Second, the delivery fails because port 25 is blocked by the ISP. Third, instead of just giving up, Postfix pushes that failed message into what's called a deferred queue. And fourth, it begins a cycle of endless retries. This means a deferred, stuck message actually outlives the configuration mistake that created it. It acts like a literal ghost in the machine, haunting your server logs long after you've fixed the live settings.
You know, the frustration of a config problem that you just can't seem to find always feels so personal. But the technical solution here was actually remarkably simple. Running a quick command called mailq from the shell revealed all of those stuck pending messages. By simply emptying out the deferred directories, specifically /var/spool/postfix/defer and /deferred, all of that phantom noise just vanished. What a massive relief, right? It proved once and for all that the machine wasn't haunted, and it certainly wasn't harboring some hidden malicious preference for Cloudflare. It just had some stale leftovers stuck in the pipes.
Section 3. 3 ways to fix it and choosing your notification philosophy. So while the ghost in our queue is officially busted, the underlying communication gap is still there. Your server still needs a reliable way to talk to you when something goes wrong. And this inevitably leads administrators to split off into 3 distinct troubleshooting camps. First up, we have the minimalists, the local-only camp. They'll use a local loopback address like root at localhost just to keep the host entirely quiet, making absolutely sure it never generates outbound delivery attempts. Second, we have the perfectionists, the SMTP relay camp. They go in and configure a proper, authenticated delivery route through a trusted service, like Mailgun or Microsoft 365, ensuring their alerts actually reach them securely and reliably. And finally, the pragmatists, the Proxmox GUI camp. They prefer to lean directly into the software's built-in notification routing to manage all their alerts, completely avoiding the need to dive deep into command-line config files. Now, if you know infrastructure people, you know we cannot resist a little theatrical doom. As one commenter playfully joked during this whole debacle, using root at localhost supposedly opens the gates of digital hell and dooms your hardware to afterlife bit flips. I mean, it's total nonsense, obviously, but it so beautifully captures the exact vibe of IT communities. Honestly, half of system administration is just practical troubleshooting, and the other half is pure ritual superstition. Every single admin has a handful of deeply ingrained habits that they will fiercely defend with a wild mix of hard-earned experience and pure folklore.
Section 4. The real problem is silence. Exploring the expectation gap in server software. We've solved the technical mystery, but let's look at the bigger picture. Because the real problem here wasn't the port timeout, it wasn't Cloudflare, and it wasn't even the mail queue itself. The real problem is that the system completely failed to communicate its intentions to the user. During a standard installation, users enter an email address, usually assuming it's just basic account metadata or a harmless label. The user interface entirely lacks any sort of warning that the server is going to turn around and immediately attempt direct SMTP delivery to that specific domain. This expectation gap is exactly what creates the drama. Absolutely nothing malicious has to happen for trust to crack. A totally harmless background service simply has to behave in a way that the interface didn't prepare the user for. A single clear warning sentence during the setup flow saying something like, "Hey, just a heads up, we're going to try and email this address right now," would have completely diffused this administrator's trust crisis before it even started.
So the absolutely crucial point we need to take away from all this is simply this. Logs don't lie, but they certainly don't explain themselves either. The log file accurately stated that Postfix was trying to reach Cloudflare. That was a fact. But the deeper, actual story was just a stale delivery attempt stuck in the machinery. The scariest line in a server log is very often just a completely normal, boring service doing exactly what it was asked to do. It's just poorly documented, and you only understand it after chasing shadows through obscure configuration files. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. I want you to look at your own clean installations. Look at your own perfectly quiet dashboards. How much do you really trust your system defaults? The very next time you spin up a fresh server, ask yourself, what hidden assumptions might be silently operating right now, just waiting to generate a log file that makes your heart skip a beat? Thank you so much for joining me today, and keep questioning those logs.